roll call of the most catastrophic betrayals and blunders in our lifetime. Joe Biden spent his entire career outsourcing their dreams and the dreams of American workers.
From border security to restoring law and order and fighting back against the entrenched political swamp, President Trump laid out his vision for American prosperity. The president also made it clear a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for lawlessness, for socialism, and a vote against the middle class. Because Joe Biden has been in Washington, D.C. for 48 years. And what exactly does he have to show for it? But how does the unhinged left respond to the president's message of peace and prosperity? By fueling unprecedented levels of violence, rage, and destruction. Because following the speech last night, Senator Rand Paul and his wife Kelly and others were targeted by an angry mob outside the White House. Here's the senator discussing the terrifying scene earlier today.
They all of a sudden saw me right as we got to the policeman, fortunately, or I don't think we'd have survived. At one point, they push a policeman backwards. He stumbles, and he's trying to catch his balance, and I catch the back of his flak jacket to stabilize him and, make sure that he's okay, because he's our defense. I mean, if he's down, the mob's loose on us. That would have happened to us. I promise you, had we not had the D.C. police to support us, I mean, we are thankful that we have police, and we've got to wake up. We can't have the whole country. We can't have Joe Biden rule the country and have no police. I mean, we can't walk down the street in D.C. safely now.
And just blocks away, RNC Speaker Vernon Jones was also swarmed. And even private citizens who attended the event were harassed. Just look at this video of a man being targeted near the White House. Of course, it's not just in Washington, D.C. In every major city and in every corner of the new extreme lawlessness left, we see a dangerous effort to literally destroy property, incite riots, and unleash chaos. Here's the president reacting earlier tonight. Take a look.
You saw when it was over? The thugs outside, because the Democratic mayor of Washington, D.C., it's another Democrat that's not believing in law and order, and these incredible people from all over the country, all over the world that were there last night, they walked out to a bunch of thugs. And that wasn't, remember this, that wasn't friendly protesters. They were thugs. They were thugs.
They were thugs. And the worst part, Democrats have glorified violent rhetoric from the day Donald Trump got elected. Here's just a small sample. Take a look.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd, and you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome.
When a guy who ended up becoming our national leader said, I can grab a woman anywhere and she likes it, and then said, I didn't make a mistake, but they asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? And I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Doing everything they can, suppress the vote with your actions, scare people, intimidate by saying law enforcement will be there, diminish the role of the postal system in all of this. It's really actually shameful. Enemies of the state.
Wow. Biden later apologized for saying he wanted to fight Trump. Yet he still has the audacity to blame the president for riots happening in Democratic-run cities. Now, in just 22 days, early voting begins, with the final ballots being cast 66 days from now. And the stakes couldn't be higher, because it's not just Biden and Harris on the ballot in November. It's everything this new destructive Democratic agenda stands for, an agenda that's taking aim at every value that's made this nation great, like freedom of expression, economic prosperity, and the rule of law. Joining me now for reaction, civil rights attorney Leo Terrell, along with American Conservative Union Chairman Matt Schlapp and Republican Congressman from New York, Lee Zeldin. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Leo, I want to start with you because your neighbor down there in Maxine Waters, this is a while ago, but she was one of the first to market saying, hey, you need to start harassing these people. You need to start making it, public displays out there. I don't know how in the world the Democrats think that they can be victorious. Do they think the American people are stupid? Do they think that they don't notice that the Democrats are the ones that are encouraging this behavior and that Donald Trump is for law and order?
Let me tell you right now, this is the reason why I'm voting Republican for the first time. What you just saw last night with Rand Paul and Vernon Jones, it doesn't make a difference what your skin color is. These are thugs out there attacking law-abiding citizens. And you know what? The Democrats now are lying, saying that, oh, we're in favor of law and order. They have let cities burn for 4 to 5 months, and President Trump has offered help, and they refuse. This is just outright shocking. And this form of allowing these criminals to run rampant in the streets without any recourse is going to haunt the Democrats, and that's why the polls are shifting, and that's why they're going to vote for the law and order president. I and other Democrats are going to vote for Trump because we want law and order. We want school choice. We want the good things that President Trump articulated in his acceptance speech. One last point. You didn't hear a single word about the Democratic programs and policies last week at their DNC convention. Why? Because it's pure socialism. It's a case of keeping our American values versus having our American values destroyed by these wicked, wicked, extreme Democrats.
Now, Congressman Zeldin, congratulations. I thought your speech at the RNC was just absolutely fabulous. But you were also at the White House last night. What was the scene like for you and your wife, Diana, as you exited the White House?
They were out there crazed and unhinged. These rioters were waiting for us to come out. They were screaming and cursing. They were looking for trouble and physical confrontation. You could just see in their eyes, you heard it in their words. Fortunately, the police who were there were taking action to protect those who were trying to leave the White House. Obviously, we were all leaving the White House peacefully after a great fourth night of this Republican National Convention. To my colleagues in Congress who are calling for unrest, calling for confrontation, this is what ends up happening and worse. I still remember fresh in my mind what happened to Steve Scalise on that congressional baseball field. If not for those Capitol police officers, there would have been 24 dead members of Congress and then some. If what happened last night was happened to a Democratic U.S. Senator and it was caused by a Republican group, it would have been top of mind on all the cable news outlets all day long. CNN, MSNBC, and every single member of Congress would have to put out statements condemning it. So what's crazy, and to Leo's point just now, what's amazing is that we all, a few months ago, when we started seeing the burning and the rioting and the looting, instinctively we knew that was wrong. We wanted law and order, safety and security for our country. But it's only been in the last 48, 72 hours that now, whether it's Don Lemon on CNN or it's the Biden-Harris ticket, they're starting to condemn it because of polling. It's not about instincts, about doing the right thing. It's because they want to win an election.
Yeah, no, that's the way I see the Democrats run this place. Now, Matt, I got to tell you, for Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, to go out and call Republicans and Republican members of Congress enemies of the state, I just can't even imagine, to Congressman Zeldin's point, how the press would react if it was the other way around.
Yeah, this is a very clear tactic of socialists. What they're trying to do is shame us, make us feel bad for supporting Donald Trump, and intimidate us. When we left the White House last night, it was so obvious, it was so organized, it was so well funded, it was so well branded with their Black Lives Matter t-shirts. They are trying to make the very nucleus of the Republican Party, of the conservative movement, feel uneasy about being involved in politics. People are watching that, and they know it. And they want people to feel unsafe about supporting Donald Trump. They're trying to destabilize civil society. This is not the way normal people operate. Normal people who have respect have political differences, but they can still respect the other person. When I saw the expletives and the middle finger, the single finger salutes, and the words coming out of the mouths of these mostly young, white, probably privileged from elite neighborhoods and families, attacking seniors, attacking voters, I will never be lectured to again after last night from anybody on the left that says somehow we're trying to intimidate voters with our conservative philosophy. It's always the opposite. What they charge us of doing, they do. And what I tell the American people right now, stand up. This is the moment. It's America versus socialism. It's bigger than the two men on the ballot. It's about the very survival of our civilization and our country. That's what this election is about. I believe that there's enough good people in this country to save it.
Now, Leo, Joe Biden has taken a position that he wants to redirect funding away from police departments, the good men and women who were there to actually protect the people that were just trying to walk down the street. I don't know how in the world the Democrats think that they can continue in perpetuity to say that they want to defund these police departments.
And you're absolutely right, Jason, and that's another one of those big lies. He's trying to walk that back. Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris, the affirmative action VP nominee, were in favor of defunding the police. They use all these magical words, but they are in favor of it. Now they're trying to walk it back because of all the violence that the American public is seeing. They're in favor of it. Donald Trump is in favor of supporting the police. That is why he has the police unions behind him. Old Joe, the union guy, no police support. All now that they're being supported, they're supporting Donald Trump. And one last point. There are a lot of law and order people who want to vote for Donald Trump. There's a lot of black Americans. You see, the Democrats are nervous because they saw Ann Dorn, Anne Marie Johnson. They saw Herschel Walker. Independent black thinkers. They saw Leo Terrell. Independent black thinkers are voting Republican, and the Democratic base is in trouble.
Yeah, you listen to Senator Tim Scott, you listen to Herschel Walker, and you understand that the conservative values in the Republican Party has a lot to offer a lot of different communities. And I thought it was one of the best. Hats off to Ronna McDaniel. I thought she put down a fabulous 4 days of a convention. Leo, Matt, Congressman Zeldin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Well, straight ahead, some news that's got the Biden campaign worried about November. We'll tell it to you next. Stay with us.
So good to see you. You too. So really, how are you? Oh, well, look, that's what we're both taking right now, Fanapt. You know, that's really been helping me manage my schizophrenia. I used to hear these terrible voices. So embarrassing. I used to feel like everyone was staring at me. But we're doing much better now, right?
Fanapt is approved for the treatment of schizophrenia in adults. In clinical trials, Fanapt significantly improves symptoms of schizophrenia compared to placebo. Fanapt may change your heart rhythm, which could elevate risk of sudden death. Your doctor will consider this when deciding among treatments, and may prescribe another medication first, or may instruct you to take a smaller dosage of Fanapt.
The good thing to know is we're not alone.
Call 8557-FANAPT.
Pure Talk USA is simply smarter wireless. Simply the same network as the overpriced big brands, but half the price. Now that's smarter. Unlimited talk, text, plus 2 gigs of data. All for just $20 a month with no contract. Choose from a massive selection of Androids and iPhones. Just dial pound 250 and say keyword Pure Wireless to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk USA. Simply smarter wireless.
Let me ask you a question. Do you want to get a little healthier, maybe lose some weight? Guys, I got you.
Lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months. Money back guaranteed. Order right now. Get 50% off a month of meals and 50% off a month of shakes with probiotics to help support your immunity.
Just call now or order online. Either way, don't wait.
Go online or call 888-521-FIT8 to save 50% on a month of meals and 50% on a month of shakes.
I'm Norm.
I'm Saz.
And we live in Columbia, Missouri. We do consulting, but we also write.
We take care of ourselves constantly. It's important. We walk 3 to 5 times a week, a couple miles at a time.
We've both been taking Prevagen for a little more than 11 years now. After about 30 days of taking it, we noticed clarity that we didn't notice before.
It's still helping me. I still notice a difference.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
South Dakota, the land of the free. With our breathtaking landscapes and wide open spaces, we're a place to safely explore. And with our low taxes, we're a place to grow. We're open for opportunity, and always will be. I'm Governor Kristi Noem. Celebrate what makes America great and experience the great faces and great places of South Dakota.
The Jacob Blake Aftermath. Dan Bongino goes inside the shooting and the continued unrest. Then, Sarah Sanders with her take on the RNC, Saturday on Waters World.
Real people are realizing there's a better way to mobile.
My carrier probably has a lot of fees I don't even know are there. Basic phone line access, federal universal service charge, I don't even know what that is. Why am I paying these fees?
At Spectrum Mobile, there are no added taxes and fees. What you see is what you pay. $45 a line with our unlimited data plan or $14 a gig with our Buy the Gig plan.
The calculator said that we would save $600 a year. We've actually saved $612 in half a year.
With Spectrum Mobile, I'm saving over $350 a year.
$650 a year. It's true. Most customers who use our calculator find they could save hundreds every year. Don't wait. Find your savings at SpectrumMobile.com or call 844-258-8115 and get it all with free nationwide talk and text and no contracts.
I'm ready to switch.
Get more for less with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line or our Buy the Gig plan for $14 a gig. Plus, get the flexibility to mix and match plans. Visit a Spectrum store. Go to SpectrumMobile.com or call 844-258-8115.
Welcome back to this Hannity special, Countdown to 2020. Is Team Biden already panicking after the wildly successful Republican National Convention? Hiding Joe Biden is now expected to come out of the basement after Labor Day and tour battleground states like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania. His running mate, Kamala Harris, is also planning to travel more. And what cracks me up is that that's actually news, that they're going to go to states. That's just unbelievable to me. So what changed? A recent online study by Cloud Research suggests Republicans and independents are twice as likely as Democrats to hide their true opinions from pollsters. This comes as a recent Michigan poll shows Biden got almost no post-Democratic convention bounce. And Trump and Biden are running neck and neck in that pivotal state. Joining us now for reaction, Michael Best, law president and former White House chief of staff, Reince Priebus, Trump 2020 director of press communications, Aaron Perini, and former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Reince, I want to go to you. You were the chairman of the Republican National Committee. You've had success in this area. But I got to tell you, it's 22 days until those first votes start to get cast. 22 days, and that's when right. Minnesota, and it really begs the question, why are the debates so late? Shouldn't they be earlier in the process?
Well, it's a wild thing, Congressman. The debate commission has set the first debate for September 29th. Now, you're right, coming out of the convention, Biden's looking weak. All of a sudden, the Democrats are looking around saying, oh my gosh, President Trump can win. Here's the deal. There are 29 states, 29, representing 338 electoral votes that start voting in September. There are 21 states that vote during the week of September 14th. One more thing. North Carolina begins voting next week, September 4th. They've had over 330,000 requests for ballots already. That's 10 times the amount of 2016. Here's the point. The debate commission needs to either have another debate, like in 2 weeks, or they need to move the September 29th debate up a couple weeks. I mean, the commission is living in the 1980s. People are voting early, and there will be millions of ballots counted by the time the first debate ever takes place. We need a debate. We need to see what Biden is all about. And after last night, I think he's going to have a big problem, and that's why he's hiding.
Yeah, no, he has been hiding, and he's not even coming out until after Labor Day. Aaron, I want to go to you. You work with the Trump Organization. I understand that, but I got to tell you, there is an obvious enthusiasm gap and difference between the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign. I mean, just today, the day after the convention, the president's back out on the road. He's in New Hampshire. They got literally just overflow crowds. Can't wait to see the president. I mean, look at this. This is outside today. Meanwhile, Joe Biden said, yeah, you know, I might come out of the basement after Labor Day.
Well, I mean, it really is a huge enthusiasm gap. The overflow of peaceful protesters the president had in New Hampshire. The vice president was in Minnesota today. I just wrapped up, and I am still in Nevada from the Women for Trump bus tour. Pam Bondi was just on one of those with me. Our Team Trump on tour bus is in Colorado. The enthusiasm is there. The ground game is here. We're talking to voters. In a state like Nevada, our ability to have these conversations person to person is so important. In each of the precincts here, President Trump lost by only 14 votes. So our ability to be out and talk to voters and register more volunteers, we know where our voters are, but those volunteers are going to help us get in touch with them. So being out there is so important. Joe Biden, I can understand why he wants to hide in his basement. He's a bad candidate with bad policies for America. But Team Trump, we're unafraid because our candidate is unafraid. We're going to be out here. We're going to be aggressive. The bus is on its way to Arizona next. We're going to be everywhere. Joe Biden will never be able to catch up.
Now, Pam, I got to tell you, congratulations to you. You gave a wonderful talk. I think you hit spot on the direct points dealing with policy. But talk about the contrast between the two conventions, because now you have 4 days of each, and you get to compare and contrast. From your vantage point, why is it that Donald Trump seems to be surging and Joe Biden's trying to figure out if he's going to come out of his basement?
After Labor Day, remember, after Labor Day, and Aaron, I wish I was out there with you in Nevada and headed to Arizona. And Jason, when you're on the road and you see that enthusiasm, it's incredible out there. And what we saw at the White House, that was a real convention. What the president was able to pull off last night was a real convention. Sitting there in the midst of a pandemic with people, with the world watching, with the beautiful fireworks, it was unbelievable what was happening. And that's happening all over the country in different ways, like Aaron said, on the buses, different ways. The boat parade that I took part in, never seen anything like that in my life, and I'm a lifelong Floridian. People on the beaches who weren't even participating in our parade, people in the water. It was a beautiful day in Florida. When our boats came by, jumping up and down, cheering, God bless America, we love the president, cheering, 80–90% of the people, that's our silent majority. That's what we've got. The Democrat convention was a snooze fest. And look what you saw at the president's convention. Real people, Max Alvarez, talking about what a Biden presidency would look like, because Max, he came from Cuba. I know Max very well. He was a Peter Pan child who came over, suffered under Castro. That's what he's saying our world would look like. Alice Johnson, the president pardoned Alice today. Alice is one of the greatest women I know. She was there. Alice spoke, talking about the president gives people second chances. He believes in that. What he's done for the economy. You saw, we had just an incredible convention this week.
No, again, hats off to Ronna McDaniel. I said it before, but I've got time for just one other real quick question, and I want to go back to the debates, rights, because Nancy Pelosi and others are encouraging Joe Biden not to do any debates. What do you think is going to happen there? And what would that say to the American people if Joe Biden said, you know, I can't debate. I just couldn't do it?
Well, if he doesn't debate, obviously, I think he's going to lose in a very big way. I think he knows that. I'm not quite sure what the philosophy is behind Nancy Pelosi saying don't debate. I can't imagine that she's telegraphing something that's going to come as catastrophic as that would be for the Biden campaign. Look, what they're going to do is they're going to try to stick with the 29th of September. It gets them the early states voting out of the way. And they're going to try to, duck in that debate as much as they can. But look, that's going to be the election. I think that this is going to be the time time where people are going to see the difference between President Trump and Joe Biden. He's been scripted now for the last 6 months. And anytime he's unscripted, he's got a problem.
Yeah.
This is it. But I do think the commission needs to move the debate back and let the people see what's happening between these two candidates.
No, you make a great point about that. I wish I had more time for all three of you. Reince, Aaron, Pam, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We've seen riots all over the country this summer, so what can the Department of Homeland Security do about it? Acting Deputy Secretary Ken Cuccinelli will tell us next on this special edition of Hannity.
Many of the ideas we fought for that just a few years ago were considered radical are now mainstream.
Bernie's right. Joe Biden embraced the policies of the radical left. Higher taxes.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Banning fossil fuels.
We're going to end fossil fuel.
Amnesty for illegal immigrants.
Citizenship for 11 million undocumented folks.
Your job, savings, and future won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Pete Talbot here, along with my son Seth, with Relief Factor. And we're so grateful to have Sebastian Gorka here telling all of his radio listeners across the country and now here on TV about how Relief Factor helped him with his lower back pain.
Pete, every time I turn around, I keep hearing from friends who are now out of pain, including several of my radio host peers like Dennis Prager, Hugh Hewitt, Larry Elder, and a bunch of others.
My hands were just throbbing in pain each day. When I saw Relief Factor advertised on TV, although a little skeptical, I decided to try it. And I was absolutely astonished that within 3 days after I had been taking it, I didn't have the pain anymore. It was almost like I'd never had it.
We created the 3-week quick start for just $19.95. It's like a trial pack to see if we can get as many people out of pain as possible.
Call 800-500-8384 or go online to relieffactor.com.
Are you frustrated by a slow metabolism, stubborn belly fat, and diets that don't work? Now there's a real solution, a diet pill that actually works. Release by Golo. Release is a patented, all-natural, plant-based formula targeting the reasons why you can't lose weight. Its triple-action formula increases metabolic efficiency, targets stubborn belly fat, and even helps with the psychological reasons for gaining weight. Release is proven to work. In a clinical study, those taking Release lost 79% more weight than those taking a placebo, and they lost 206% more belly fat. There's no caffeine, no jitters, no side effects. Just steady weight loss, more energy, and better health.
I lost 75 pounds thanks to Release.
Over 1 million bottles of Release have already been sold with a 98% satisfaction rate. Visit Golo.com to see how Release can work for you. That's GOLO.com.
Welcome. Today's discussion will be around sliced meat.
Moms want healthy and affordable.
Land of Frost Premium.
No added hormones either.
It's the only protein I've really melted with.
Land of Frost Premium. Fresh look, same great taste.
Occasional bladder leakage or urgency.
I've had it.
I've had it.
Had it with bladder issues. Only Azo Bladder Control does what liners and pads can't. It supports bladder muscle strength to help reduce leakage and urgency.
If you're suffering from muscle cramps or muscle spasms, you need to try TheraWorks Relief. I've never seen a product that works as well for muscle cramps and muscle spasms. TheraWorks Relief really does work.
Get TheraWorks Relief today. Available in stores everywhere.
Toe fungus is tough to kill, and it can spread.
It's time to start using FungiNail. Maximum Strength FungiNail is so powerful it cures and prevents fungal infections. Plus, it has aloe and tea tree oil to restore skin health. Say goodbye to toe fungus with FungiNail.
Just leave it on the steps. Thanks.
You've changed. For good. And when it really mattered, you trusted ADT, because staying home or venturing out, no one has more ways to help keep what matters most safe.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Welcome back to this Hannity special. Lawlessness continues to rage across the country in Democrat-run cities. Last night in Washington, D.C., police arrested at least 8 people, including 5 accused of assaulting police officers during protests. And according to the Department of Justice, 74 people are facing federal charges for actions committed during Portland riots. But today, the mayor of Portland declined President Trump's offer of federal help for the city. During the riots over the last week across the country, numerous businesses have been burned and looted. And take a look at this video out of Minneapolis this week where a police officer is hit in the head with a garbage can lid that was thrown at him. Thankfully, the officer was wearing a helmet. And now, just moments ago, President Trump spoke about the chaos rocking the liberal cities and the harassment of RNC attendees last night in Washington. Take a look.
These are all Democrat cities, just so you understand, including D.C. So we're not supposed to go in unless we call it an insurrection. But that's a big statement. It's a big statement. No reason for it. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to have to look at it. Mark Meadows is here. We're going to have to look at it because we're not going to let that happen to people that go to the White House to celebrate our country.
Joining us now is Acting Deputy Homeland Security Secretary Ken Cuccinelli. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Secretary. I appreciate your time.
Good to meet you, Jason.
Democrats give a lot of lip service about voter suppression, intimidation, but when I see them targeting people that are conservatives attending political events, it does strike me that that is a form of intimidation. What can Homeland Security, what can the federal government do about it?
Well, of course, anywhere the president is, you've got the Secret Service, so and they do a great job, whether it's in D.C. or whether it's in New Hampshire or wherever. But anywhere there are federal facilities, we have officers from the Department of Homeland Security. That's a lot of what you saw in Portland in July. It's amazing, you know, you let in with Mayor Wheeler there out of Portland. Portland has become almost a textbook version of exactly what not to do when you're responsible for the public safety of a city, including Governor Brown in Oregon. With a 2-week exception when she sent in some state police for a little while, she's declined to use her National Guard, and she has 7,800 of them. She withdrew the state police, partly because the district attorney there refused to prosecute many of the cases, whereas at the federal level, our prosecutors are carrying those cases forward. You noted over 70 of those cases are going forward. So there'll be real consequences at the federal level. And this is exactly what the president has told us to do, to both lean forward where we have the authorities to do so and prosecute these cases so people have repercussions. And you've seen in Kenosha recently several hundred DOJ officers there in addition to the National Guard. You've also seen Operation Legend in these cities all over the country that are racked by violence. We are in cooperation, and that's key, advancing hundreds of federal officers, including the Department of Homeland Security, made over 1,500 arrests so far this year. Big success.
Yeah, I read the letter that the mayor of Portland sent to the White House, and it's one of the most obnoxious letters you could ever see. And I would think if I was a citizen of Oregon, I would be looking at your first role of government is to protect me, and yet they are doing exactly the opposite. In the minute that we have left, explain to us how this should work, and are there partnerships that are actually working that would be good models to compare and contrast versus, say, Seattle and Portland and New York and Minneapolis?
Yes, there are. So I mentioned Operation Legend. That's in 10 cities. Our HSI investigators who specialize in these international gangs are in 5 of them, hundreds of officers, and that's done in cooperation with local law enforcement, with state law enforcement. And we all work better when we work together. And the president has pushed very hard. And you asked for a counterexample. Kenosha is a counterexample eventually. Governor Evers didn't want to accept the help the president offered initially, but then after another night of violence, he finally said, yes, that partnership makes sense. And lo and behold, we advance more officers from DOJ, more National Guard. And what happens? peace in the streets. This can be done. It's a simple formula. You and I have both repeated it in other contexts, and that's the Ronald Reagan maxim of peace through strength. It works in our own communities just as much as it works for our national defense, and President Trump knows that.
Yeah, President Trump, what he understands is until that mom with her young child can walk around that federal courthouse or right down the street and not fear for their life, then they haven't achieved the goal yet. And unfortunately, you've got to meet these riots and Antifa and these other people. You got to meet them with force and know that there's a consequence. It's something you learn, you know, pretty early in life, but struggled with others. Secretary Cuccinelli, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. All right, well, the mainstream media had a complete meltdown over Trump's speech last night. We'll show you the tape coming up next. Stay with us.
Denture wearers can go wild with wildly adhesive C-Bond denture seals. Get 75% stronger all-day hold thanks to gradual release technology. Go wild. C-Bond. Wildly adhesive.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price plus free shipping.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
So what's going on?
I'm a talking dog.
The other issue?
Oh, I'm scratching like crazy.
You've got some allergic itch with skin inflammation. Apoquel can work on that itch in as little as 4 hours, whether it's a new or chronic problem. And Apoquel's treated over 8 million dogs.
Nice. And the talking dog thing?
Is it bothering you?
No, itching like a dog is bothering me.
Until dogs can speak for themselves, you have to. When allergic itch is a problem, ask for Apoquel. Apoquel is for the control of itch associated with allergic dermatitis and the control of atopic dermatitis in dogs. Do not use Apoquel in dogs less than 12 months old or those with serious infections. Apoquel may increase the chance of developing serious infections and may cause existing parasitic skin infestations or pre-existing cancers to worsen. Do not use in breeding, pregnant, or lactating dogs. Most common side effects are vomiting and diarrhea. Feeling better?
I'm speechless. Thanks for the Apoquel.
Aw, that's what friends are for. Ask your veterinarian for Apoquel. Next to you, Apoquel is a dog's best friend.
Fox Nation takes you inside the most amazing homes in America.
The details and the quality, it's a masterpiece.
With jaw-dropping features that are priceless.
And the price.
And the price? Who cares?
Join Casey McDonald as she opens doors.
And it all leads to this.
To some of the most prestigious properties on the planet. Mansion Global on Fox Nation. Available now. Only on America's streaming service.
With ServPro, our expert cleaning service helps reduce the spread of viral pathogens. Put the certified ServPro Clean Shield in your window and let your customers know that you're committed to a higher standard of clean. For a free quote, visit servpro.com.
At times like these, it's important to know that you're staying safe at home. Visiting Angels is committed to your safety and comfort. Our compassionate caregivers provide one-on-one essential home care services for our senior loved ones. At Visiting Angels, personal home care is our passion. We're here for you.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
I need new struts for my 2010 Chevy. Let me see struts by AC Delco, KYB, and any under $50.
We might be able to get some struts from the warehouse.
Why watch the counterman tap on his computer and hope he chooses the right part? Go to rockauto.com. Auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. Choose the brands, prices, and features you want. Auto parts at the lowest price. Conveniently delivered to your home or business.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Welcome back to Hannity. The Republican National Convention ended last night with an epic speech by President Trump. And predictably, the mainstream media had a complete meltdown. Have a look.
The staging, you can hear the fireworks right here, was really quite incredible, possibly illegal.
President Trump shattering norms, standards, perhaps even laws by holding such an event.
I don't know that we'll ever, as Jake likes to say, I don't know that we'll ever come back from this. This is a norm that has been broken.
As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, you know, Fidel Castro, Julius Caesar, Mobutu Sese Seko. That was not an American president giving an acceptance speech. This would be the end of America. If this is what we're going to be, this won't be a democracy. That's a monarchy. It was repugnant. Sorry.
Wow. Joining us now with reaction is media reporter for The Hill, Joe Concha, and Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Joe, you have like the worst job in America. You have to go out and watch all this crap. So tell us what you're seeing over there on all these other networks.
Jason, I was once a waiter at Friendly's. Trust me, that's the worst job in America, because you not only have to take the order, but you have to make the order, and then you only have teenagers and old people in there, and neither of those people tip. So yeah, trust me, that's worse than what I do, but it's a close second, believe me. Now look, the old saying is that the reward for conformity is that everyone likes you except for yourself. And it's amazing that it was so predetermined even before the RNC started that this thing was going to be panned, it was going to be called dark, it was going to be called divisive, and there isn't one person at any of these networks that just say, you know what, maybe I'll just watch each speech, and maybe I'll watch the convention, and I'll come to my own conclusion. I'm not going to worry about what my colleagues say, or what woke Twitter says, or what my viewers say, and if they don't like it, screw them. Look, the bottom line is that this was an incredibly successful convention because The Hill and Harris X has a poll that's out tonight, and it says that President Trump's support among black voters jumped 9 points during the RNC to 24%. Think about that. Mitt Romney in 2012 only got 6% of the black vote in that election year, 32% among Hispanics as well. These are the type of numbers, and you see why Democrats are getting nervous, Jason, that tip elections. This was a highly effective convention, and it reached out to independents and black voters, and that's not what the DNC did, which was to appeal to the woke mob and viewers on CNN and MSNBC that were going to vote for Joe Biden anyway, Jason.
Yeah, and Charlie, what struck me is every one of the speakers, they weren't just Washington, D.C. insiders. They were real people who had real compelling stories.